Hi students, I am Vasandi, Assistant Professor, AMC Group of Educational Institutions, Manisheri. Today's presentation is for second sem BA Economics students. I hope that everyone watched my previous presentation and you have got an idea about effective demand and its determinants. Today's topic is consumption function, which is a continuation of our last session. Let us begin the topic consumption function. In our previous presentation, we have discussed the volume of employment in the economy depends on effective demand and which is determined by aggregate demand and aggregate supply function. Aggregate demand determines the level of employment and which consists of consumption demand, investment demand, government expenditure and net exports. Consumption demand is an important component of effective demand because consumption increases, level of employment increases in an economy. So we have to understand what is consumption function and its determinants. Consumption function or propensity to consume describes a relationship between consumption and disposable income. It tells that when income increases, consumption also increases. There is a direct relationship between income and consumption. It can be expressed as C is equal to function of Y. C denotes consumption expenditure, F functional relationship, Y the income of the consumers. It is based on the Keynes psychological law of consumption. According to Keynes, as income increases, consumption also increases, but the increase in consumption is less than the increase in income. For example, if a person's income increases from 1000 rupees to 2000 rupees, here the increase in income is 1000 rupees. Out of this 1000 rupees, 850 rupees for consumption purpose and 150 rupees for saving purpose. Here we can see that consumption increases less than the increase in income. For understanding consumption function, we also analyze its counterpart, that is savings. Savings is that part of income is not spent. So income is equal to consumption plus saving and saving is equal to income minus consumption. An equation form of this consumption function is C is equal to A plus BY. C consumption expenditure, A autonomous consumption, BY induced consumption. Autonomous consumption means consumption expenditure arises when the level of income is 0. Induced consumption means when change in income induces change in consumption expenditure, where B represents marginal propensity to consume and Y represents the income of the consumer. Then what are the propositions of this law? Income increases, consumption spending also increases, but less than proportionately to increase in income. Part of income is not spent, is saved. Increase in income is always leads to increase in saving and consumption. That means income is divided between saving and consumption. Let us develop an imaginary schedule to understand consumption function better. Here, the different level of consumption expenditure at different level of income. When income increases from 0 to 300, consumption increases from 40 to 280 rupees. When income is less than 200, consumption expenditure is greater than the income. The people manage this excess expenditure by de-savings or borrowing. De-savings means past savings. When income is 0, people spend 40 rupees on consumption. This is called autonomous consumption, or consumption expenditure is independent of income. Beyond income 200 rupees, consumption expenditure is less than the income. Part of this income is not spent is called a saving. That is in our example income increases from 200 to 250, consumption expenditure increases from 200 to 240. That is, income increases 50 rupees but consumption expenditure increases only 40 rupees. Similarly, when income increases from 250 to 300, consumption expenditure increases from 240 to 280. From this table, we can see there is a direct relationship between income and consumption, but not proportionately. Here is a graphical representation of income-consumption relationship. Here, the x-axis represents the national income and y-axis represents the consumption expenditure. The line passes through the origin represents the amount of consumption equal to the income. In this case, with the increase in income, consumption would also increase by the same amount. The consumption curve CC represents as income increases, consumption also increases, but not in the same level. That is, consumption increases less than the increase in income. At the income level OY0, consumption is equal to income. Below this point, consumption is greater than income. Even if income is 0, consumption will not be 0. Here consumption is positive. That is why CC, that means consumption curve, start from the point of y-axis. Beyond this intersection point, with the increase in income, consumption also increases, but less than proportionately. Here the gap between income and consumption, which represents the savings of the consumers. This is the graphical representation of Keynesian psychological law of consumption. These are the various concepts of consumption function. First one, MPC, marginal propensity to consume. Symbolically, it represents delta C divided by delta Y. MPS, marginal propensity to save. It represents delta S divided by delta Y. APC, average propensity to consume. It can be represented as C by Y. APS, average propensity to save. It can be represented as S by Y. What is MPC? MPC is change in consumption as a result of change in income. For example, income increases from 1000 rupees to 2000 rupees. Consumption expenditure increases from 850 rupees to 1700 rupees. Here change in consumption is 1700 minus 850, that is 850 rupees. Change in income is 2000 minus 1000, that is 1000 rupees. So MPC is equal to delta C divided by delta Y, that is equal to 850 divided by 1000, which is equal to 0.85. Then marginal propensity to save is the change in savings caused by a given change in income. MPS is equal to delta S divided by delta Y. Here delta S is equal to 150. That is, out of 1000 rupees, 850 used for consumption purpose and the balance amount 150 rupees for saving purpose. So 150 divided by 1000, which is equal to 0.15. We have already seen income is equal to consumption plus saving. Therefore, marginal propensity to consume plus marginal propensity to save is equal to 1. That is 0.85 plus 0.15, which is equal to 1. Then what is APC? It is the proportion of total income which household spend on consumption. For instance, income is 80 rupees, consumption is 75 rupees. Then APC is equal to C by Y, that is 75 divided by 80 rupees, which is equal to 0.9375. What is APS? It is the proportion of total income that is saved rather than spent on goods and services. Then APS is equal to S by Y. Here there is 5 rupees out of 80 rupees. So 5 divided by 80, which is equal to 0.0625. Here also consumption plus saving is equal to the income of the consumer. Therefore, APS plus APC is equal to 1. That means income divided into consumption purpose and saving purpose. Here that is 0.9375 plus 0.0625, which is equal to 1. The value of MPC is always between 0 and 1. MPC is falling because the gap between income and consumption. Then APC and MPC both declines as when income increases, but MPC decreases faster rate than APC. Let us summarize what we have learned from this session. First of all, what is consumption function? What is Keynes' psychological law of consumption function? Then a schedule related to income and consumption relationship. Then the graphical representation of this Keynesian linear consumption function, and various concepts of consumption function like MPC, MPS, APC and APS. I hope you have got an idea about consumption function. Thank you.